Have you ever had nights like this where you've been so tired, you're exhausted, and you just can't wait to go to sleep? And you finally get to bed, and what happens? You lay your head down on your pillow, and you're just like, ah, you close your eyes, and then what happens next? Your mind starts racing. You can't sleep. You're tossing and turning, and you're asking yourself, why? For me, God, please turn this off. So I just want to share with you, you're not alone. And our body is trying to tell us something. Yes, so if you ever find yourself not being able to sleep or waking up 2, 3, or 4 in the morning, it's not you. You're not broken. It's just your body trying to tell you something. In our series, Hello Hormones, today we're going to talk about sleep in midlife. So thank you, my friend, my sister, for tuning in to yet another podcast episode with your host, Stacey, where we share and talk about how to care for the body, rewire the mind, and strengthen our soul God's way. So, yes, we are talking Hello Hormones, where the female body meets faith series. So, if you haven't checked out the other series, we talked about what's wrong with me, why I feel tired, why am I gaining weight, feeling anxious, and so on. So, we're continuing this series. So, stick around as we dive into what is causing our sleep deprivation. I'm going to call it like that because I feel deprived. I feel sleep deprived. And maybe you too as well in your 40s and 50s. So, okay, so you see I have no notes. My notepad wasn't charged and I'm not about to play that game right now. I'm tired and I'm going through the things, but I'm learning as I go and as I go through it, right? So, if you're new to this, I've shared with my audience that I'm going through these things, so I'm sharing them with you in real time, right? Because I'm 51 and 50 hit me like a brick wall. Just going through all the changes, the weight gain, the hot flashes, the irritability, the bloating, you name it. And obviously the sleep deprivation and feeling tired and fatigued and lethargic and anxious and all the things in between and feeling like, what's wrong with me? Right? Questioning yourself, what's wrong with me? And having other people, I said this last week, or I said this a couple weeks ago. I can't remember. See, brain fog. There you go. Big one. But it's just saying that, we might be questioning what's wrong with us, but then our husband or partner might be saying, what's wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong with me, so that's not true because now I am knowing. Now I do know what's wrong with me, and it's not me per se. It's biology. We talked about this. So everything that we're going through, it's biology, and it could also be lifestyle. So a combination. So we're going to break down step by step. I'm going to go off my brain here, which hopefully I said, Holy Spirit, help me. I haven't done one of these podcasts without my notes in a long time. So here we go. So like I said earlier, maybe you get so excited, you're so tired, and you're just like, you can't wait. But then maybe one day, 2 days, you're going to the third day, and you're like, oh my goodness, you're tired, but then you already know, like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. Like, I'm so tired, I just want a good night's sleep. Lord, please give me a restful night's sleep. Restore, repair, rejuvenate me while I sleep, dear Lord. And I have to say, last night, finally, after a couple days, I'm just like, my mind is racing, right? It hits the pillow, and all of a sudden, I'm so tired, but it's amazing. It's like this instant, switch. I lay my head on the pillow, all excited, and my brain just starts thinking. Or I'm playing a song. Is anybody like you or me, like me, that just I love singing, I love music, so there'll just be a song of the day, and then I want to go to bed, and it's like a record play just playing over and over again on repeat, and you can't shut it off. I'm like, please, please, please. Obviously, things slow down or something because I do fall asleep, but still, you just want to fall asleep. And I used to be that person where I would just lay my head on the pillow and fall asleep, close my eyes, and just go into La La Land and dream, or not dream. Sometimes I think the nights I don't dream are better. I don't know. And I used to be like, oh, I feel bad for people who can't fall asleep and they're looking at the ceiling or they just tossing and turning and their mind won't shut off. Now okay, I'm experiencing it now. So never say never. So when someone's saying something to you, be polite and listen. Because even though maybe it's not happened, hasn't happened to you yet, hopefully not. But when you hear people tell stories about things, just feel compassion, like, because it's like, it just might happen to you. And so it's happening. Like, wow, it's hitting me. Okay. Maybe a little later in life, but it's hitting me. I used to be a good sleeper and stuff. And now with the hot flashes, getting the night sweats are coming back. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. Hot, cold, you can relate, right? Blanket on, blanket off. And then you fall asleep and then you wake up because you have to go to the bathroom, or again, you're hot again. And, or you just, one little thing you start thinking, like this morning, I was actually having a good sleep and I could sense, is it almost time for bed or to wake up? Not almost time for bed. Is it almost time to get up from bed? And I don't want to look at the clock. I don't want to get up and go to the bathroom because I feel like that will just trigger my body to think, oh, you're awake, and to start the racing mind. So I started thinking it like, but thank goodness I kind of caught it and just like shut it down before it really started. I shut it down before it started and then woke up. So I want to share with you, okay, this is real. And the reasons why this is happening, my friend, we've heard this time and time again. We've heard about these sex hormones time and time again, if you're not bored of them. But this is probably the problem to a lot of our, this is probably the cause to a lot of our problems, is our estrogen, our progesterone, our cortisol. Okay, estrogen is fluctuating during perimenopause, right? So our extra, I can't speak. Our estrogen is fluctuating in perimenopause, and then progesterone could be very low, and then cortisol could be high or elevated. Okay, so what I kind of discovered is that we can get caught up in this cortisol loop, right? So naturally, our body is supposed to be higher in the morning. Our cortisol levels should be higher in the morning because that's what kind of helps us get up, get the day started. That's when we need to rev up our engine and eat and fuel our body and get moving and stuff. And throughout the day, it should start tapering down or slowing down. And so with somebody in perimenopause and with our hormones everywhere, roller coaster, estrogen, progesterone low, our cortisol rises. Cortisol rises, right? And can stay elevated. And so when we go to sleep, and before we go to sleep, you might be even feeling throughout the day, you just feel this like tired but wired feeling. Like you're tired, but you're wired. So you really can't sleep and you're just doing everything through the day. Raise your hand if that's you. That's me. Like we have to show up for life, whether we're tired or we had a sleepless night, sleepless in Seattle, sleepless in Connecticut, wherever you live. you know, we have to still show up as moms, as wives, you know, as women in this workforce. If we have our job and our careers, we have to show up. So put on a pretty face on, we pull up our pants or skirts, wear my dress, whatever, leggings, whatever it is that we need to do, and we show up. And we get through it, maybe we're going through the motions of life, but we're just tired but wired. So it happens that we're so tired and we think our brain is just wired and it won't shut down. So what I'm learning is that there's different things. Okay, I'm rambling here. Let's get right to the point, Stacey. I don't have my notes, like I said. I'm trying to go off memory and stuff, and I might be jumping here and there, looping back and forth, weaving back and forth, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we talked about the hormones, right? So things that we can do to help. Obviously, HRTs are probably the only thing that are really going to help with balancing out our hormones. Just say that, okay? But things that could help bring down the elevation of cortisol level, that stress hormone, which we call, and help throughout the day, is making sure we're eating 30 to 60 minutes before we get up, starting our day with protein, okay? So protein, starting our day with protein, a good meal to fuel our body, and then eating throughout the day, not skipping meals or fasting, because that adds more stress to our body. And that's going to keep that cortisol level high and elevated. And then to make sure you're hydrating throughout the year, hydrated throughout the year. Wow. Hydrated throughout the day and throughout the year, every day. Making sure you're moving your body. Exercise can help alleviate high levels of stress. Movement, walking, Pilates, yoga, stretching, all those things, light cardio, strength training helps to boost that metabolism. Then again, it's fueling any activity, so don't go like I did a couple days ago. And I know better, just sometimes things happen. After I worked out, I had to go grocery shopping. That took me longer because I go through the aisles looking at everything. And then, it's 3:30 and I finished my workout at 1 o'clock. So you might not feel even hungry because I didn't feel like I was starving, but like our bodies, I've said this before, like our mind loves freedom, but the body, all it wants is stability. So even though maybe we don't feel these things, I'm like, I don't, I'm not a stressed person. Why is my cortisol levels high? I'm not like I'm a very calm person. But all these things could stress the physical body, right? It's physiology. We talked about this biology. And so we have to learn how to manage with that, right? Because we can't eliminate stress. We have, like I said, we're moms, we're wives, we're caretakers. We have parents maybe to take care of our children, maybe grandchildren, our partners, work, all these things we have to show up to do, but we have to take care of ourselves in the middle of it. So I'm learning this, even when I'm not feeling hungry, I need to eat. So yesterday I was tired. I had like a good breakfast and I skipped mass because I was tired. I'm like, hey God, I'm gonna take care of myself because me rushing out in the morning, I spoke about this in an episode before, doesn't allow me to eat breakfast. Granted, God is my breakfast. He is my food, my source, and everything. Okay. Spiritually, He's everything to me. And I had to be like, okay, God still loves me, even though I didn't go to Mass. But I had a good breakfast, getting back to the point. And that kind of helped me because I had classes and I had to teach at the gym 2 hours back to back. And I was tired at the beginning, but I know like halfway first during my first class, my energy started, the food, energy, calories started kicking in and making sure I hydrate and stuff and everything. And the next thing too is our nighttime sleep routine. So it's fueling our bodies, right? Timing our fuel with our activity and eating, you know, 3 to 4 hours throughout the day, not starving yourself. Especially at our age, intermittent fasting, I did that for so many years, but when we're in perimenopause, even just like not eating for a couple hours in the morning, that just puts stress on our body because our body wants food and that then affects our hormones and everything else. So it's just a domino effect. So timing your meals and then slowing down in the evening. This is a big one, right? Task transition. It's going from a busy day, we come home, maybe we want to sit and relax or whatever. I don't do that. I just come home and straight to making dinner. So I'm like on my feet until sometimes 9:30. And so what I need to start doing is like, I need to like cook dinner earlier, which I had dinner, I think, the past 2 nights earlier than the other nights. So, it's a work in progress, to creating these new habits, even for myself as a coach, learning this new way of living and being. So eating earlier so I could be off my feet by 8 o'clock, so I could shower, relax, or whatever I need to do. Read, off your phone an hour or two before bedtime. Even the TV, I didn't the noise, the loudness of the TV, the brightness of it, the blue light. I was like, I went upstairs, showered, and we have candle lights. We have lamp lights, salt lamp lights. So the room was just really low. It just felt so inviting. I'm like, hey, I don't want to leave the room rest of the night. So I did my evening routine, showered, brushed my teeth, all that stuff. And then I read. I lay down to read. I'm so excited to do some reading. Usually I do my night prayers, liturgy hours. And I was just so tired. And then I fell asleep. There's a few thoughts here and there, but definitely a lot better. And of course, I made sure I took my magnesium. So my sisters, that is key, magnesium. Okay. So the reason why I've also been really tired too, because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did get my blood worked with my doctor, and my vitamin D was very low. So I finally ordered my vitamin D after like 3 4 weeks. So see, procrastination because life happens. And I was thinking, well, it's spring now. Let me go. I go for walks, but still. So even if you have low vitamin D or B12, like anything that's just off balance in your body just will affect everything, especially your cortisol. So now I'm working on getting my vitamin D back up. That will give me the energy that I need throughout the day. That will help lower my cortisol. And then the magnesium helps for sleep. And there's certain types of magnesium. I'm taking magnesium glycinate. That's just for sleep because I've tried some other products and I didn't like them. I didn't need all of them. And doing some research, I found out magnesium glycinate is like the best one for sleep. It aids in calming the brain. Yes, calming the mind, the brain, and aids in a good night's sleep. And you should take that probably 30 to 60 minutes before bed. So I actually took 2 capsules. I was taking one because I was running low, and I noticed I had a better sleep. So the vitamin D and the magnesium are my 2 goals right now. And yeah, so you need to be aware, look at your day. So, okay, let's take a deep breath. Because either it's a brain fog, I have, or it's my mind goes so fast and I'm trying to speak and just it's racing. I need to like slow down. So, my sisters, I want you to reflect on your day. Like, what do you think is that may be causing you to not have a good night's sleep? Okay. Because I mentioned the hormones, but then also look at the other things, because even with the hormones being unbalanced, making sure like your vitamin D's and B12s and all those things are good. I know I said in a video or two ago, you need to get your blood work, have your annual appointment to see your OBGYN or your PCP or your holistic doctor, whoever you're seeing, talking to, and get blood work, because that is really has helped me open up my eyes to like, okay, oh my goodness, really? Okay, that's good, that's good, that's low. Okay, I kind of knew that, oh wow, that, and just it just gives you a picture, because we could always assume this and this and that. So if you have blood work, and then you can start looking, okay, like for me, like I said, my vitamin D levels were low, so I need a vitamin D. And there's other things too I could take, but I'm starting just with the magnesium, the vitamin D, and if that doesn't help, then I could take, I could add some another new mineral or vitamin into my diet. But I want to take everything at once, because then I'm not going to know what works. Okay, so that's the key. Don't think there's so many things you could take, but start with that one thing, see if that works. And sometimes too, it takes 2, 3, 7 days. So don't think, oh, one day it didn't work. Like anything, it could take a couple days, and then see from there. You know, Maybe you only need one capsule of magnesium. Maybe you need 2. Maybe you need 3. I'm not a doctor. Look at the label. Talk to your physician about magnesium, but that's my protocol right now. And then what else? And so going back to your evening routine, low lights, off your phone. Journaling is great to get any thoughts that you're thinking or whatever onto paper, right? That is so key. That'll just help you like a clutter dump, right? Just get it all onto paper, so then your brain can't think, because you already kind of just thought it all out to paper. Not to say that you're not going to think, but that could help. Reading a nice book that you like, prayer before bed, quiet time. All these things have a play, a warm bath. So if you're doing all those things not working, then yes, you talk to your doctor. Then maybe it's just you need to get progesterone, which I've been looking at. So progesterone is going to be the last thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to take my vitamin D, make sure I'm taking my magnesium faithfully, consistently, right? Again, that's the thing, so I keep all my stuff out and doing other things, earlier dinners, getting off my feet earlier throughout the day. So my body's saying, okay, when I'm done with the kitchen, shoes off, or I'm relaxing, I'm unwinding, my brain can have that transition. Okay, she's done with her hustle and bustle throughout the day. Now we're transitioning to like relaxation and rest, where that's an hour or two before bedtime. So by the time you do go to bed, your brain is kind of like slow down, maybe cortisol coming down a bit. But if you're hustling and bustling right until the time you go to bed, no wonder why your brain is, and that's been me. I could be in the kitchen till 9:30, quarter of, preparing my smoothies and my meals for the next day. So I have some good habits, I'm preparing, so I make sure I have food for the next day, my water, my protein shakes, all that stuff. But it's like I'm doing dinner late, then I'm cleaning up after dinner, and anyways, so I have to work on just shifting my schedule, starting dinner at 5 o'clock versus 6. It's just so hard because now it's daylight. In the wintertime, it's easy to start dinner at 5. Because like, it's dark time, I better make dinner. But when you're like, it's daylight still, I'm still doing things. So I have to teach myself to shut myself off. Like, okay, stop work, 5 o'clock or whatever I'm doing. Time to go in the kitchen, make dinner. And so I can be done early. And then if there's anything I didn't finish, if I want to relax, but then I really don't want to be on my phone anyways in the evening. So I want to be done 5 o'clock off my phone or anything like that. Maybe you're not even listening to music before I go to bed, but that doesn't even matter. Just an old song can pop up and start playing in my head. It's all good. It's all good. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed, because I know I just went off on a tangent. Because see, that's why I need my notes. I need my notes, but I'm so I need to move on my day before anybody shows up here. Again, I'm in the living room here. You like it? I got my sweater. I got one of my new dresses. Oh my goodness, talk about dresses. You guys have to follow me over at Instagram at Fit and Fueled by Faith, where I'm sharing like some fashion. So Monday is Monday movements for midlife. I share like a little dance fun video to either a classic, a song, something that's trendy, but that's good. No swearing, no rap. I'm not doing that stuff. Something that I know is appropriate, Christian music or something like that. And I share a carousel based on what I talked about. And Fashion Friday, we're going to share, my modest dresses and stuff like that. Fun place. Anyways, I'll let you go. I am so sorry because I know you're busy and I'm busy. So hopefully you're listening to this. You're able to do what you got to do, because I'm just now mumbling. But anyways, Instagram is like my fun lifestyle stuff where you can see, things. I try to incorporate little my podcast episode clips and things like that, what I talked about for the week there, but also a little fun movement dance for This is 50, right? This is 50 series. And now Fashion Friday or Friday Fashion. Anyways, just modest, something fun, just to show my pretty outfits and stuff. I don't know. It's all good. Okay, my sister, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So yes, ask yourself what is going on throughout your day. Again, it's pen and paper, reflect. What are the things that you're doing that could be causing stress? Again, are you eating late at night? Are you on your phones before bed? Do you have bright lights on in the kitchen or in the living room and in your bedroom before you go to bed? No, lower lights, circadian rhythm. Okay. When the sun is setting, lights should be lower. Everything should start settling down. Our metabolism, our bodies start wanting to rest. But if we have all the stimulation, bright lights, loud music, TV going on, stress and just chaos, our bodies are going to be in a state of stress. Our cortisol level is going to stay elevated when it should be coming down. Just like when the sun starts setting, everything should start slowing down. So that could be a reason why. So if you have any questions or anything like that, most importantly, talk to your primary physician or your OBGYN, and they could help you. And of course, do some more of your own research and stuff like that as well. Again, I'm going to the things and I'm just here to share it with you and ramble on. It's all good though. I love you. And my sister, we're going to wrap things up here. So stick around for next week. We're going to talk and dive into something else. I don't know yet. It's funny how whatever I'm going through, that's what I'm talking about for the week. Sometimes, not all the times, but just funny how this happened to land at. This was the week I was going to talk about sleep. Maybe I needed to experience not having good night's sleep so I could share with you. Anyways, my friend. So thank you so much, sister. Feel free to share with anybody in your world that can use this. Another sister who needs to hear this, who's struggling with sleep at night and doesn't know why. Well, now you can explain to her why. It's not her, it's biology, and it could be her lifestyle. So that's why, take that question to heart. What does your day look like? Reflect on that and see where you can eliminate, slow down, bring dinner down a bit, and rest the last 2 hours of the day, right? Low lights, off your phones, and breathe, or go for a walk after dinner. Nothing vigorous though. You don't want to exercise at night because that's going to cause your hormones and your stress. So with that said, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go out in the world, share love, make peace, and be happy and glorify the Lord in your thoughts and your words and your actions. And so again, my sister, thank you for tuning into Fit and Fueled by Faith with your host, Stacey, where the female body meets faith, Hello Hormones series. So thank you. I'll see you next week. God bless you. But you know what? I love you. But yes, Jesus loves you more. Okay? God bless. Bye.